Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. I'm joined by Ben Foster on a Monday morning where we can say Manchester United have beaten Manchester City and are title contenders, potentially title contenders. What a game, Ben. What a game. I've played the game and that game was... the atmosphere was fantastic.
Incredible, mate. What a win. Do you know what this is? This is one of the Manchester derbies in recent living memory that I actually not expected, but I thought United had a chance of actually winning this one. Yeah. As the game went kind of, I'll be honest with you, when Man City went 1-0 up, I thought, oh no, here we go. This is going to be, they'll just close it out now and they'll finish off probably 4 or 5-0 or something like that. But no, fair play, mate. Like, what a win though. Seriously, what a win. You say title contenders, I just think the problem you got is Arsenal. I think Arsenal could just go on a filthy run.
Next weekend.
I don't know what's going on with Man City. I really don't know what's going on with Man City, but they're just not what they used to do. Do you know what I mean? They're used to... I think they've got so good at just absolutely bulldozing through teams, scoring 1, 2, 3 in the first half, and then everybody just gives up. And at the minute, they just can't seem to do that. They can't seem to score the first goal in the first half.
We spoke about it on the fill-in, little pull in there. I think Haaland, fantastic player, but they never take him off and they're very one-dimensional.
Yeah, they are.
That's Man City. Back to Manchester United.
It's not a bad one-dimensional, at least.
No, it's not.
It's not a bad one-dimensional.
But, you know, it can be a problem when you are one-dimensional. It's a bit like if you shut Messi out, isn't it? That's the end of the day. But our atmosphere was absolutely incredible. United fans are fantastic anyway, but I know so many people are at it, and I wish I'd been at it, but they were like, you know, that's the best atmosphere we've had in a very, very long time. And the best thing about it is that I don't think there's a United fan out there that's not going, yeah, probably was offside. Probably did think Man City were going to go away with it, but you were talking about it just before we went live. It's that thing under Ten Hag that the difference between Ten Hag, Mourinho, Van Gaal, certainly Solskjaer is that even though Man City we were well organised, they get that goal and you think, that's it, Man City possession, they've 71% possession, had it in the first half, and you think, right, okay, we've probably lost this game now, and then at the end of the game you're going, we've lost 1-0 to City, but you know, we did play defensive. Yeah. The game plan didn't work, but then we end up winning 2-1. And in the last 20 minutes, he changes the game with tactics and the approach.
That belief. That's what I mean. Now you've got one of those managers who is right at the top table, and I think it's not only what it does for the players on the pitch as well. It's what it does for Man United as a whole. You know what I mean? All the fans now, like the atmosphere is a result of. Belief. Belief. Literally, all the fans know that Ten Hag is at the wheel, to quote someone like Rio Ferdinand or something silly like that. But he is, it's true. Like, they know they've got a proper manager.
Don't quote Rio.
No.
The last time he said something about a manager was give him the contract. So, Rio, keep your mouth shut with all due respect.
But it's true, though, like, that everybody now knows they've got a proper manager, somebody that all the players respect. Like, dropping Rashford the other week was like, I love that. I'm all over that kind of stuff.
And playing Luke Shaw at left-back in a Manchester derby to leave Martinez, Lindelof and Maguire. Hundreds of millions I think it's nearly £200 million of centre-backs on the bench to play Luke Shaw at left centre-back.
Luke Shaw's the man, mate. We spoke about him last week, didn't we? Saying, like, to be able to do that, but the manager must trust him that much. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He must trust him that much to know that you can go, no, it's not even a thing. Don't worry about it. You just keep playing there. We've got a little understanding. They've gone and beaten Man City. It's brilliant.
And what I loved as well is you get these people saying, oh, it's all about the money. You've got Casemiro, who celebrated, the winning goal in the corner more than anybody and started hugging fans. You got Varane, absolutely ecstatic. And this is multiple Champions League winners who've done it at the very highest level with Real Madrid. And they're in a Manchester derby and they're just absolutely infected by the atmosphere, the enormity of what Man United did. And look, you've played the game as well. Football is about the results. And I think the big thing for me, and I don't know what your thought is about where United go from here, was that we beat Man City before. We did it under Solskjaer and they were very good results. But the big thing, and you said it at the start, is that it just didn't feel like United could lose this game because they had a different... They're telling a story. They had a bad start. They've been on a really good run. And then you play Man City and it's like, if you lose that game, where are you? Yeah. You've got to get something to take that momentum that you have had before and then go, we are genuinely building something here. And I think that's what...
Like you say, I love that word infected a minute ago that you said, though, because when you've got, like, serial Champions League winners like Varane and those kind of guys, Casemiro, that ilk of players, Bruno Fernandes, I know he might not have won Champions Leagues, but he's still that level of player, right? When I think I think United went through a phase of getting in kind of mercenaries, players who would happily come to United because they know they're going to get over 100 grand a week and it's a doddle.
Alexis Sanchez.
Players like that, they know what they're coming for. They're not bothered about trying to win anything with Man United. They just want the payday. Cool, like each to their own. But I think what's happened now is now Man United are starting to really get all the key components. The manager is the biggest one to start with, yeah. And now I think the players are actually starting to believe that they've got something here, and it's like, it's not just about picking up the paycheck anymore. It's like, lads, we could actually do something now. So even if it's not this season that they go on and win it, next season, it's the best building blocks, the best start to it, so that they can go, right, let's actually go and win something now. We are Man United. And I think all the fans can see that everybody's starting to actually believe now.
The next phase for United, we'll talk about the title in a minute in the short term, but the next phase is to, obviously, you've got to back this manager. Like you say, the things that he's done, the discipline he's brought in. You spent a bit of time on the bench as a player.
Oh, you're horrible, you are.
And no, you didn't at Watford.
Are you doing this today because you've got your Stone Island top on? Can you get the badge in, please? Get the badge. He's doing it. He's giving it a big one because he's got his Stone Island top on. He walked in the building this morning just blaring. He was all over the shop.
You spent a lot of time on the bench in your career. But no, you know, I'm talking about England really. You know, you've been on to England squads and not been the starting goalkeeper. My thought process was, and it just came in with the centre-backs there, I mean, Martinez is going to play. Maguire and Lindelof are not going to play unless there's an injury crisis. What are you thinking in that situation when you're at a club where you're basically, and even if there is an injury crisis, he'll probably use you till the end of the season and then bring someone else in anyway.
Yeah.
What is it? How do those players like Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, I mean, they're probably telling each other, we've got a chance, but how is it for those players who were basically starters for the last 3 years? Yeah. And I'm trying to think, you know, maybe Scott McTominay's another one. There'll be others. You know, it could be Wan-Bissaka in a few weeks. It could be Luke Shaw. You know, you just don't know. How is it like that when the team is doing really, really well, and you just, you know, you've been part of that team, and then you're sort of on the periphery and you're smiling and you're coming on for a couple of minutes and you do your Insta posts. How do you keep, you know? Do you think that there is a way back for those players?
I think do you know what it's down to? I think with players like that,
we need. Well, my point is, we need.
Oh,
them.
you do.
We need the squad.
This is the beauty of having.
How do you keep them happy?
The thing with people like Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, even Wan-Bissaka, players like that, they're good lads. Scott McTominay, they're good lads, yeah? And they're not the kind of people or players to be able to want to go and kick off and cause a fuss and be a bad egg, all that kind of stuff. So even if they're not playing, like Harry Maguire, the reason why Harry Maguire was selected as captain, I guarantee you, it's not because of what he can do on the pitch. Well, you'll probably agree with that.
I'm holding back.
But it's because of him as a person, yeah? He must be that guy that people actually respect, that they look up to and they want to talk to, they'll learn stuff from, do you know what I mean? Just for what he is as a human being. And people will probably ridicule him and all that, because all they see...
I've got a feeling you're going to get clipped up for all
No,
that.
I promise you.
Yeah, go on.
People will see what he does on the pitch and they might not like what he does on the pitch. But as a human being, I think people actually respect him, and people in the dressing room respect him. So he'll strike me and Lindelof in the same basket, where I guarantee you they're the kind of guys that are helping everybody and getting behind them, going, yeah, love this, come on, keep going, do all that kind of stuff. So,
but it must be hard though, because deep down you must be like, I think I'm better than them. I think I could do a job in that.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're gone in the summer. It wouldn't surprise me. Like someone like Harry Maguire, he should be playing first team football. Really, not for Man United. It might be back to Leicester. It might be for Newcastle. It could be something. Well,
especially
like that.
When you've been doing it for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Then the only reason I mention it is because I know you did spend a bit of time on the bench, and also, I'm joking. But no, seriously, it's so important. We're in not even halfway through the season, and I think some fans just want to go, oh yeah, life's great, we haven't got Magaluf at the back anymore. But actually, a Varane injury, and these players need to come in and they need to feel part of it, don't they?
Magaluf.
You know, heard that before? No. Oh, I was listening to Talk Sport this morning, actually. David the Dracula, they were calling him, because he doesn't like crosses.
What, for the game yesterday?
Oh, it's some bitter Man City fan. And I was like, I called Kepa Dracula. So now they're using my lines.
Dracula's been going around forever. You can't claim Dracula. That's what they said.
It's been dead for ages. No one's using it.
People have said that to me all throughout my career. Oh, you're worse than Dracula.
But it's like bloody... bloody flares. You know, it'd been forgotten, and I bring it back, and now they're trying to use it.
Anyway, David De Gea, don't worry about David De Gea. He is absolutely golden. He's not the kind of goalie that's going to come out for every single cross, and he's not going to be front-footed, and his distribution might not be perfect at times, but you know what you're going to get from David De Gea, and everybody trusts him, and that's all that matters.
It's good. It's a good segue into something, actually, because I got into a bit of an argument with a student. Nothing against students, but
a little bit against students.
Well, no, he was an ageist. You know, I was 50, I was 60, and I was middle-aged. Mate, you should be loving this. He'll be there at home going, I can't believe he's talking about me. It's probably the biggest bit of fame you're ever going to get, so enjoy it. Anyway, the thing he was making, made quite a good point, was that he does all stats and analysis, and for some reason, David De Gea seemed to end up being a topic of conversation after a huge Manchester derby win. Some people wanted to go in on De Gea. And I think it was because United, the way we set up on Saturday, we didn't play out from the back because that's quite dangerous against Man City. So we hit quite a lot of long balls, of which I don't think goalkeepers are particularly accurate. You know, you're not going to have an 80% accuracy on that. But I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I absolutely do not think there is an issue with David De Gea, and certainly don't when United...
What was his stat? What was his claim? That basically his long ball accuracy wasn't good enough?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Nobody's long ball accuracy is good enough. It depends. Like I say, if you're playing Man City, if you don't kick it through the middle, right? First of all, as a goalie, when you're kicking it long, you don't kick it through the middle because it will just come back through the middle. You're hitting it onto centre-backs, right? They'll absolutely kill you.
Well, the whole point of putting it to the touchline is if they miss it, it probably goes out.
Exactly that. You go out there because
kick it out.
Even if it goes out 70 yards in that direction, you have a chance to get up behind the ball and to get set. You've got territory at least, yeah? But when you're playing against Man City, if you're playing against someone like Kyle Walker or something like that, they're big and strong and physical, and like aerially, they're very, very good.
They're attacking the ball.
Exactly, they're coming onto the ball. No goalkeeper's long ball distribution is good. So he's probably tried to sort of collate these stats and make it look as bad as he possibly can, because that's what you can do. Stats are a load of crap, mate. They're absolute rubbish.
I could clip Casemiro up from the game against Weekend where I thought he was good. I guarantee I'll find 5 bits and go, what a load of shit.
Mate, you could put that video out and it can go viral and go, oh look, this is the guy that you all love so much, giving the ball away. No, what a load of rubbish.
I think stats are dangerous. I think they're really good, but I think they're dangerous because we spoke... let's not dwell on it too much, but we saw Dubravka, good goalkeeper, comes in for the Carabao Cup game. He's missing the ball. He's absolutely a rabbit in the headlights. And I think, Costa will come in and do a job. Sanchez will come in and do a job. You've been at Old Trafford. You know what it's like. Yeah. You can't put a price on experience. And it's a bit like when you do leave university and you go and live in the real world and you start experiencing life. You can't analyse football on a website and you can't analyse life from a book.
Yeah.
And I think
playing champ man is not a guarantee of what's going to happen.
What does he do in the dressing room? What does he do on the pitch? He's been in every situation, and all right, he might make a mistake with his feet like he did last week, but I just think people are hunting for the wrong thing. Centre-back, striker, right-back, midfielder, let's look at all of those, but goalkeeper...
Listen, really? Totally agree, and do you know what? Nobody wants to go and spend 60, 70 million quid on a goalie. Nobody. No club in the world wants to go and spend that much money on a goalkeeper, right? When you've already got somebody in between the posts that does the job, it might not be the most glamorous stuff in the world.
Most experienced player on the team as well.
It will, you know what you're going to get from David De Gea. It's not an area to worry about, so just stick with it, yeah? He's absolutely golden, and invest elsewhere. That's where you need to be spending your money. The goalkeeping department, do not worry about it.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it's down to Ten Hag, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And does he look like he's going to do anything about it? I don't think so. Title, this is the big thing I think people have been waiting to hear from you from. United are currently 9 points off Arsenal, 1 point off Man City, not halfway through the league yet. Arsenal got to play Man City twice. We've played Man City twice. We play them next week. Got Palace midweek. I'm taking it game at a time. I'm still not 100% about top 4 yet because I still think a couple of bad injuries, your season can fall apart.
Yeah.
But a lot of United fans think title contenders. Is that dangerous that you are pushing expectations beyond what they were at the start of the season, halfway through the season, and then if you don't do that, you start to get disappointed about something that was never realistic anyway?
Yeah, it probably is dangerous, and it's
football.
It's the way it goes. It's Man United anyway. I know that.
It's standards. Yeah, I love it.
It's definitely Man United. You get on a little roll and you win a few games, and then it's like, yeah, we should be doing this every single week. It's like you get used to success. It's not that easy.
I've done it for 10 years.
Exactly. It's so not that easy. Winning the title, I just think Arsenal probably have got that much confidence now.
I think it's because it's Arsenal that everyone's starting to think about titles, because it's like, Well, Arsenal are there, and fair play to Arsenal.
Mate, they're a good team.
They never would. They would have, if you'd have offered them 4th, they'd have gone, yes, we'll have that. And now they're the best team in the league.
But you watch them, mate. Like it's not
coaching.
It's not like a normal Arsenal. They're pressing like animals, mate. They're so good. They're all on the same page. They've got a proper coach, all that kind of stuff.
I'm genuinely worried. We'll talk next week. I'm genuinely worried about that game.
Yeah, for sure.
The difference is, I think they'll do the same as Man City, but we haven't got Old Trafford. No. It's at the Emirates, and that's you've been in that situation. You can play a top team at home and you've got the crowd and maybe get a couple of decisions, but when you're going away and you're going to play against a team that's going to press the life out of you and have 70% possession.
That's what I mean. I think too many people just try and look at like stats and form and history and all that kind of stuff, and I just think that's not important anymore. Like, you just got to look at the team that you're playing against. And if you're playing against an Arsenal, like Tottenham failed miserably with this against Tottenham yesterday because, they've got this ego of we're Tottenham, right? We know how to play football. We can play out from They can't. They're playing Arsenal who are better at pressing them. They're fitter, they're stronger, they're more intense. And they just ran all over them. It was an absolute doddle. So Man United have to address that game in particular for what's in front of them. They have to realise they're playing Arsenal, who are better than them in most areas. So they've got to adapt and play a different style of football.
If we beat Arsenal next week, and that's a very big if, I'm not saying we will, and Palace comes first anyway. If United beat Palace and Arsenal, the gap would be, next Monday when we do the show, would be 6 points.
Yeah.
Title contenders.
Mate, 6 points is nothing.
Exactly.
It is
and they've got to play Man City twice.
And they've got to play Man City
And we're only halfway through the league.
6 points is nothing. Honestly, in this league, 6 points is absolutely nothing. It's too hard to predict. If anybody is going to stand on their throne and say, no, they will win the league and they will come forth, and they cannot guarantee that. No one can. Like Gary Neville said yesterday, didn't he? Arsenal won't win the league. You can't say that. You cannot. You can't.
Season,
you cannot be that
denial.
confident. Exactly. That's all it is. It's just like it's an emotions getting the better of you. So for anybody to say, no, we're definitely going to do it, or even the most ardent Arsenal fan, I guarantee you will be going, we could win the league, but there's so many things that can go wrong, and that's the beauty of football, though, because you can never predict it. You can never. But I think you have to look at the long term. And for me, what's happening at Man United is, this season, we've come on leaps and bounds, like crazy leaps and bounds. The progression has been phenomenal. And I think that's the good thing. That's the most positive thing, that going into next season, a completely different scenario. Like, we'll start next season, for sure, as one of the favourites.
And that's what you want. You heard it there first then. United, if we beat Arsenal and Palace, we're banging a title race, but we'll see what happens.
Do you see how I kept saying we then?
Yeah. I know what you're on about.
No, I think when you played for the club, you're allowed to say we.
Oh,
it's the way
another bloody Rio you are. Played for Leeds, West Ham, and now it's we.
You can say we.
No, but I think there is something in that, isn't there? I think when you play for a club, you almost become that.
Look, they've got a little bit of like a place in my heart somewhere, for sure.
You can't just take a bloody wage, and then smile at all the fans. You've got to give something back.
That's basically what I did at United, to be fair. Sitting on the bench going, well done, lads. Well done, you lot.
I did say to Ben before, did you play it? I know you played for Man United, but did you actually play at Old Trafford? Because I have played at Old Trafford.
I think I played against Man United. I think I played against Man United at Old Trafford more than I played for Man United at Old Trafford.
You played in a derby win.
I did. I don't want to talk about it.
4-3, Mark. It was my. Check the highlights.
Do not check the highlights. That was the end of my Man United career. That was the end of my Man United career. It
was a win, though.
Cheers for bringing
Manchester
it up,
derby win. Manchester derby winner. Ben, you won. People dream of that.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back next week. Big shout out to Ben Foster.
Top man, mate. Get the badge in. Get the badge in. Look at it.
Ta-da. I'm sat on my mic.